Hello and welcome to another episode of Reimagine the North with Alex Mackenzie. That's me. Today's episode, I'm very excited. We have Bruce Johnston from Access Engineering here with us. Bruce, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So you're from Prince George, born and raised?
Kinda. I'm a Quesnel guy, so
nice.
Raised in Quesnel and came back to Prince George. Felt like home maybe 13 years ago.
Okay, sweet. And how long did you live in Quesnel?
10 years maybe. Did most of the school there, elementary and high school years.
Yeah. And then what brought you to PG?
Edmonton to get educated, and my wife wanted to be closer to her family. Her mom was still in Quesnel, is still in Quesnel, and so we came back in like 2012.
Yeah, dude, I like Quesnel. I played for their hockey team for years. The Quesnel Kangaroos.
Yeah, they're a good. It's a good place. I watched a couple of your episodes there, and you're talking about hillbilly friends. I can definitely relate to you. Got a lot of hillbilly friends from Quesnel that, we still stay in touch.
Yeah, dude, they're the funnest, man. They always like motorsports, all of that stuff.
Big time, dangerous stuff.
Steady. Yeah, just anything. That's what I always say. Like the funner it is, like I think fun and safety have like a, an intercept where it's like the funner it is, the less safe it is, and then you just got to find the right point where you're like, all right.
Absolutely, and once it's part of your history, it becomes part of your personality. You carry that with you, right? It never really leaves. You always got bad ideas. You want to do stupid things and have a bit of fun. Yeah.
I know we always used to do. My hillbilly buddies would like doing skeet shooting.
Yeah.
But we never had a skeet launcher. So it would be like a buddy would be like frisbeeing the clay disc out, the other guy with the shotgun. And I was like, the risk reward here doesn't seem right. I was like, the reward is we hit the clay disc. The risk is you blow your buddy's arm off. Like, what are we doing?
Go to Canadian Tire and get the orange thrower.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Get that little thing. That's what they end up having now, my buddies have. Or they have like the auto launchers now, right?
Yeah, those are sweet. Cost $1 though, way too much for that crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, we can build this ourselves. We'll go to Home Depot, get some lumber, get some rubber bands from a broccoli sticks, pull it back. Yeah, that was good. Engineering, that's actually, you could engineer something like that probably. Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can do something like that.
So you started though in carpentry, is that right?
I did, yes. Yeah, kind of weird. I went to school to be an engineer. I had some health problems that scared the heck out of me, and I decided to quit the stressful environment and become a carpenter. And it didn't take me long to realize that I didn't like working in the cold in the wintertime. Right. So after I got my journeyman ticket narrowly, I went back to engineering and decided to work in an office where it's nice and warm.
Yeah. So. Dude, have you seen, do you know Nate Bargatze, the comedian?
No. Oh, yes, I do. Great comedian.
Yeah, man. And he has that bit on community college. He's like, community college, he's like, we would do a lot of field trips. And he's like, it was basically saying like, hey, you're going to have to get used to being outside. You guys are going to be working outside your whole life. And being up at like 6 a.m. or something.
It's nice to know, like, when you're an engineer, you're sort of responsible to make the hard decisions. Right. So it's nice to know kind of from the ground up, right? Like how to build things and what's the common things that guys in the field are frustrated at. And so it does feel good being a carpenter having been a carpenter now that I'm an engineer. It makes sense. But the path to get there was weird, right? Like who goes and becomes an engineer and does all the schooling, graduates, then quits and becomes a carpenter and then goes back in engineering. It did work out though. Yeah.
So what did you do for your engineering?
University of Alberta, civil.
Civil engineer. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of all graduate as civil, and then civil is like structural, geotechnical, which is like soils, and then your conventional sort of road design, wastewater treatment plants, that sort of thing. That's all civil. And then most people kind of pick a lane inside of civil, and I picked structural. It made the most sense to me.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, because I look at it like engineering, like they're developing some of that new land by, is it like North Nechako?
Yes. Yep.
Right where it meets Foothills?
Yes.
That's all getting done. And it's funny because I notice, like I do like with comedy, we do event production.
Yeah.
And it just makes so much sense to me now. Like because sometimes people come to me being like, hey, I'm trying to put on an event. And I'm like, you just get the venue and then do the thing. Like the timeline of producing an event seems so simple to me.
Yep.
But it's because you don't realize how much you've done it and you've learned. And I remember looking at that area they're developing in Foothills and North Nechako there. And I was like, I don't even know where I would start. I would just be like, make it all flat. And then you'd get it flat. I'd be like, probably need water. I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I guess you just dig holes and lay water lines. And because somehow you got to tie all that in. Like the city will have mains, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the granular part of it is sort of kind of complex, but the big picture isn't rocket science. I mean, I don't think you're that wrong. I'm not a civil engineer, so I shouldn't talk too much and underappreciate what they do.
Right.
But I don't know, if it was me, you'd probably download a program from AI somewhere and get 100 different combinations of where the roads and where the houses are going to go. And
Yeah.
so it seems simple when you see it in real life over a slow progression. If you drive by North Nechako every
Right.
week or two for 2 years, it's like, oh, that makes total sense and that's super easy. But yeah, I think the day to day would be a little bit more of a grind.
Yeah, well, I would mess it up so bad. I would be like, because you need to have like what? Water, sewer, power is like the first three things I would think you need. And you're like, okay, every house needs to have that. And then you're like, okay, now we need to somehow get that to the city line. And there's like, it just seems crazy digging, and it's probably all under the roads. And you're like, I don't even know.
Yeah, and there's always more to it than people think, right? Like there's bureaucracy in place. There's an official community plan. If the land isn't zoned for the right use, they got to go and, I don't know, get a amendment and go to council and get a variance, and all that stuff takes time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that Prince George, we're slowly getting better at that. Or
Yeah, I would think so. There's lots of civil engineering companies in town, and I think lots to do a great job. Yeah, I really like working with L&M Engineering. It seems like a lot of their people go to the city or come from the city, which I think is a pretty healthy result of a good environment in engineering, right? If private sector, public sector, and if they're going back and forth, you must be doing something right.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and so there's what is the difference between like public and private in the engineering? Like where do the lines stop?
Well, so it's it depends on what you do. So most municipal engineering is civil engineering because the city owns the asset.
Right.
So they own the water system, they own the roads, they own the sidewalks, and so they kind of design that. The only sort of engineers I think that are at the city, or I know that are at the city, maybe a civil engineer. So they're
Right.
on the asset side of things. And then private sector is if like a developer or a homeowner or somebody, land property owner owns that, a mine maybe, a mill, they need stuff to happen on their site and they own the infrastructure, then they hire private sector civil engineers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys do.
Yes, we do that in structural engineering, which is designing buildings. So we do like that one lane of civil, which is structural. And I'm a buildings guy just because of the background in carpentry.
Yeah. And when you're making buildings, is it mostly commercial?
Yeah, it's probably like a third. Residential, commercial, industrial. And
right.
that way, if something, the bottom falls out of the economy somewhere,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
sort of kind of
The
protected.
old don't put your eggs in one basket
Yeah.
trick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So if we wanted to build a theater, that's my big dream. My
Yeah.
big dream one day is, when I'm rich and famous, I want to build a performing arts center for Prince George.
Yeah, cool.
And build a big theater. So what do you start with?
Land.
Land.
So, yeah, find a spot of land where that makes sense, and you do like a feasibility study. You're probably hiring an architect or a planner, and then they're going to make a case and paint this picture and turn this idea that you have, a bunch of interviews, and create like a illustration or a vision of that on paper. And then you can use that to go and pitch different entities like cities and governments and maybe private sector people that might want to be philanthropists and give you some money to do it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then that feasibility or concept study turns into something more detailed, and you get some cost estimates. And then there's a pretty well-defined process for developing land and building or designing buildings.
So you mentioned architect. So the architect, I guess, he designs the building, and then you as a structural engineer make sure it structurally
Yeah.
won't fall over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's pros and cons, right? That's interesting architects design buildings that look really awesome and that are really hard to design because there's some
This guy has no idea how gravity works.
yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Think of how it could fall down vertically, and think of how a wind or an earthquake could shake this thing and for it to become
Have you seen
unstable.
that video or that one building in Vancouver? You know, the one right over the port, over the Granville Bridge right downtown? It's like
Yes,
narrow
yeah.
and goes wider.
Oh man, wild building. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the firm that did that, but they're big deals, man.
Yeah.
Glotman Simpson, I think. And
Right.
it's all sort of like cubic, but it rotates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think it creates more of an illusion,
Yep.
right? Like I think it isn't as thin as it looks.
That's right, yeah.
Right? But it's like the way that it rotates. Because if you look at it the one way, it's like, yeah, it looks like it's on like a popsicle stick and then
Yeah.
it goes way wide. But I think as you do move around it, Yeah.
And if you go back in LinkedIn land and look at the original concept versus what they built, it was quite different. And I think just because of the realities or the practicalities of what you can achieve with structural design,
Right.
I find that interesting, but I kind of put my nerd glasses on.
No, dude, that's what I'm here for. See, I know nothing about this. I'm very like, I'm very, I always say arrogant, but that, or just naive, just arrogant meaning lack of knowledge.
Ignorant.
Yeah, ignorant, arrogant, right? Ignorant. There you go. That's showing my level of intelligence right there. Yeah, I'm very ignorant to the whole thing. Like, I just have no idea how it works. And when you said architect, I'm like, oh yeah, that must be different. That must be hard working with certain architects, right? Like they just design the craziest thing and you're like, it's like a child. It's like, build me this. You're like, look, it's not, you can't just build a flying saucer. We need to have wings on this thing.
Yeah, sometimes, sure, there's feelings where you get frustrated and you just want your job to be easy. But like the purpose is to be collaborative with somebody who's at the top of the pyramid and they are like the brainchild of every design.
Right.
And so if you think of engineering like a pyramid, the architect's usually at the top and then they hire all these experts in engineering. So electrical, mechanical, civil, structural, whatever. And then all those people put together the recipe book of how you're actually going to execute this and turn it into something that's real.
Yeah. And so you're the owner of Access Engineering? There's a couple
long time ago
partners,
it was. Yeah.
right? Yeah. And then how did you decide to do that? To be like, oh, I want to be a business owner as opposed to just working in a firm?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my mom told me from the time I was this big to work for yourself because you can work for somebody else and make, $40 an hour, or you can work for yourself and make triple that. And there's some cost to that and risk associated.
Right.
But you can make a
It's
better
stress.
living and you can be your own boss. And she sold me on, that romanticized idea of you get to make the decisions, which is counterintuitive because once you are your own boss and own your own business, unfortunately, every one of your clients is who you work for. And now you have like 100 bosses, but
Yeah. And I found, I know like in comedy when I started producing, a lot of the time the people I was hiring were making more money than me
yeah.
at the start, right? You're like, oh no, like I'm doing all the work and they're just getting to show up and perform and they're all making more money than I am.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is the benefit here again? What am I doing?
Yeah, it's the dream, right? It's the dream. If you can play that out long enough, it's almost like a boxer trying to win a 12-round fight. It's like, if I can just stay in here and get punched in the head for eight more rounds, like I know I can knock this guy out and run 9.
Yeah, that seems to be like the entrepreneurial pursuit, right? They say it's just like a marathon. Like how long can you stay in the game is basically like one of the big goals. So were your parents like entrepreneurs?
No, they weren't. No.
weren't.
My dad was a Finning guy, union rep, and they lived that life. And my mom didn't work; she was a stay-at-home mom. And then when we all graduated, she went back to university and got educated and wanted to be smart, which she's brilliant, by the way. She got really good grades. But that was cool to see her chase knowledge when she didn't need to. And, that maybe I got a little bit of that. I guess I like to keep learning and doing new things. Right? Bought Access Engineering, I don't know, like 2013, 2016 or something. It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now we've got a bunch of partners and I wouldn't say like I got ADD or anything, but I like things happening and I like to think about different pursuits and initiatives. And we ended up building a software inside of Access Engineering and spun that out into its own entity. So now I got a different hat and I get to be the CEO of Design Time and we're selling this product stack to a bunch of engineers in Western Canada.
So what is that? I know Jeff was just telling me about it earlier, saying you guys created your own software for engineering.
Yeah, I mean, like to boil it right down, everybody needs time entry and invoicing software.
Right.
And we were using one and we didn't really like it and I wanted to take over the world. So somebody told me, you need to build your own ERP, your enterprise resource plan software, because every big company out there has an ERP and it's the only way to know how your company is doing and improve efficiency and standardize quality, all this, those cliche things.
Yeah. Do you got KPIs in there? I remember that number.
No, yeah, totally. We have a whole
indicators?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's true. I think in order to grow into a big organization, you need a lot of potential control, these gates to make sure that people don't screw up and some visibility into how your company's doing and from all these different perspectives. So we hired a software dev and and then another one after that. And 5 years later, we got this software that's cost us a fortune. And but it's really good. So
yeah. And then you can now package that and then sell it to other businesses. And
Totally.
is it specific to your industry, or can it be used?
Yeah, I mean, it was designed for a structural engineering company of like, maybe 20 people.
Right.
But there's a lot of similarities, especially in the building sector, between like electrical engineering design process and mechanical process. And so it's well suited for a lot of different companies in Canada. And it's Canadian, right? It's like not this US centric software that's from Silicon Valley and just comes and dominates everything.
Right.
That's a bit frustrating. And I also think like a lot of these big companies, they build this product, or maybe they don't even build this product. Maybe they buy this product from small companies like us.
Right.
And it has all this cool functionality. And then they're like, you know what? That's not a moneymaker. That's not a moneymaker. And that's not a moneymaker. So let's strip this back to its skeleton of efficiency.
Right.
And then we're going to sell it to everybody because we don't want to maintain it. And that's the angle that we took, was like, no, we want to do all the hard stuff because we literally use this every day. So that was the angle we took, man.
No, that's really cool. I like that idea. I think that's a really good business move as well. Like you look at like a popular business guy I really like is Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you know him, but he started he's like a serial entrepreneur guy. Now he does a lot of what do they call it? Where you're like buying companies and scaling them and selling them. Private equity.
Yep.
Is that what it is? Yeah, private equity. So, but he started with a gym. So he's like a gym bro, and he bought a gym. And then it took him, forever to figure out how to make the gym make money.
Yeah.
And then once he started doing that, then he created a thing called Gym Launch.
Cool.
And then it was basically just a program being like, hey, buy this, and it shows you how to make your gym profitable.
Yeah.
And then he ended up selling that to like, gyms. And then he ended up, that was his first big exit. He sold that for like 150 million.
Oh my goodness.
Gym Launch.
Sweet.
And then,
that's a dream.
yeah, exactly. Right. And then, so I think that's really good to be branching out in that other area. I've thought about that a lot with event production.
Love
like,
it.
oh, I should make like a course or something on how to produce events.
Yeah.
And then sell that to other event producers.
Yeah. It's always this tug of war, right? Between like what you want to do and what you should do and so it's pros and cons, right? At some point, I feel like most entrepreneurs, they sell out, they exit, right? You sort of just sell out to the big guy and retire and do your thing. But you don't, it means more if you're really connected to the product and you really have an emotional attachment to what you're doing and you feel it's right and you have integrity and all of the good reasons driving you. But that can also like hurt your business model.
Of course,
right?
you
By
can
being
get
the
to
good
like
person.
exactly. You're like, the opportunity to make money might pass by or something due to.
For sure.
But I do think having good morals is like the main thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I like comedy. Like, I've never felt bad selling a comedy ticket. I'm like,
Totally.
all right, I believe in what I'm selling.
That's one of the things I like most about being in the North. There's like a practical, well, maybe not. Yeah, I think practical human being up here that cares more about morality than the big city lawyers and accountants and whatever. Not picking on lawyers or accountants, but you know what I mean, right? There isn't like as much of a rat race. It feels a bit more comfortable living in PG than perceivably. I've never lived there, but Metro Van, right?
Yeah. Well, I've noticed I've got just over the years, I've met met some very successful people, so some millionaires along the way. And then you meet certain ones and you can tell the ones who like got their money from hard work and integrity. And then the ones who are like, this guy's kind of shady, man. Like, like you meet a guy like John Brink and you're like, this guy just worked, right? Like just 100%. A machine. Come here and he's like, work. And then I've met some other guys who were like finance bros. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy doesn't seem like I'm like, I don't know, just being around them, it's not the same character.
Yeah, I get you for sure. I feel you.
Yeah. So you also do search and rescue.
Yeah, we do. Or I do.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
But the company is now branching out. We're talking about branching into other fields.
There's opportunities everywhere.
Yeah. Search and rescue software.
That's hilarious. You say that. There is a software for search and rescue. So D4H, Decision for Heroes. I don't know who built it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm sure they sold it. And there's like 5,000 search and rescue members anyway. That's my entrepreneur brain talking.
No, I like it. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, like a year ago, I think, maybe a year and a half ago, applied for search and rescue. Kind of, I guess I was bored for half a second, had a slow Sunday, and got a great idea. And went through like ground search and rescue training last year. And there's a million certs, man. It's a wicked organization.
Yeah.
They have specialty teams for like swift water and rope rescue and mechanized and mapping. And it's pretty wild.
We got to do, because I worked at the pulp mill,
Yeah.
and then we have like the ERC team, so like
Okay.
emergency response crew. So I got to do quite a bit of training with the JIBC, Justice
Yes.
Institute.
Yeah. Same thing. Same deal.
Yeah, so it was
Probably
it
the
was,
same courses, to be honest.
yeah, that's what I imagine. A lot of it's close. I really like the rope rescue, like tying knots.
Yeah.
Like once you start learning to tie knots, it was so fun.
Yeah.
And just learning, yeah, I really like them.
Yeah. That's a good way to feel. If you don't practice that for 2 weeks,
Yeah,
it just
and then-
disappears and you feel like an
Yeah.
idiot.
I
How do
know,
you
I
tie
can
my-
remember like a handful of them. Like I remember the bow line
Yeah, that's a good one.
because it was one of my favorite. I'm like, I wish I knew this when I was 16.
Yeah,
When I was 4x4, because I would 4x4 like every weekend. Me and my buddies just go get stuck.
Love it.
And then you have to tie a rope, and then every day you'd have to cut the rope because you towed a truck out with it. You
Totally.
could never get it undone. But then
Yeah.
I remember learning the bow line, and I was like, oh. And it kind of shows how your brain will remember things that it finds value in.
For
right?
sure.
That's why, like, I always struggle with names. And I always be like, I'm just bad at names. And then it's like, well, maybe you're not putting enough value
For sure.
on knowing someone's name. Because, like, if you're dating someone, you remember their name pretty quick. Or
Yep.
it's like someone that you think you're going to have like a long-term relationship with.
Yep.
But just when you're meeting so many people in passing, I'm like, I think my brain is like, oh, don't worry about remembering any of these names when you're like, shaking people's hands after shows and stuff. And then I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have. Because a lot of people will come back to shows. Like, I tour the same places and I see them and I recognize them. And they're like,
Yes.
Alex, how you been? And we had
Exactly.
like a 20-minute conversation. I'm like, man, I wish I remembered their name.
Yes. Yeah. I have the same affliction, unfortunately. And I don't know if it's just because I'm a jerk and I think I'm better than everybody else. Or like sometimes you think that, right? But maybe that's the way it comes across. And somebody's like, hey, Bruce, good to see you, Bruce. And it happens 5 times in a row. And I'm like texting, my wife and whoever else, be like, what's this person's name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I should put a touch more effort into this.
I know that. I think it. Yeah, it is. It's funny your question where you're like, oh, maybe I'm just a jerk. That's what I think about all the time. Is like, I think it's a good thing though. I think someone who questions they're a jerk probably isn't a jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like I watched. Have you seen Equalizer 3?
Yes. Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah. So it's so funny because it's just like a shoot 'em up movie. But I don't know if I've said this on this podcast already, but it has this very profound line in it, and it stuck with me. And it's from because at the beginning he's all like busted up, right? Then that doctor comes and saves him. And then when Denzel Washington gets fixed up, the doctor immediately goes like, hey, did I just save a good guy or a bad guy? And Denzel goes, I don't know. And then later in the movie, Denzel's busted up again and the doctor's fixing him again. And Denzel says to the doctor, he's like, hey man, like, why do you keep helping me? Like, you don't owe me anything and you keep helping me out. And the doctor goes, do you remember the first thing I ever said to you? He goes, yeah. You asked me if I was a good guy or a bad guy. And I said, I don't know. And then the doctor goes, yeah, only a good guy would say that.
Yeah.
And it's like, because a bad guy won't even question,
Yep.
So I think that was something I found. I really like people who question that. Like, you just have to always think like, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Could I potentially be wrong about this?
I think about that with kids all the time. I have a couple of kids. Me and my wife have that conversation constantly, right? You're just terrified that you're doing something wrong. And not to derail the conversation, talk about kids, but man,
No, dude, I love
it is a eye opener being a parent, how much more vulnerable and scared you are about screwing up somebody else's life and reflecting on your own childhood. And like,
dude.
and then you think that you had the audacity one time to mention to your mom or dad that was a stupid thing to do and you hurt your feelings or whatever else. And like, that just is a dagger to a parent's heart, right? Anything that comes from your kid that's, oh man. Yeah.
I know. I think of the way that I treated my parents when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my
I hope that's not
God.
coming from me.
I know, right? It's so scary. I was a stepdad for 5 years in
Okay.
my early 20s. And I remember the little girl, Chloe, it really taught me the value of like these kids, you basically program them.
Yep,
Like whatever
exactly.
I told her was good, she would think is good.
Yeah, I know.
Like if I told her when my friends come through the door, go punch that guy in the nuts.
Yeah.
And she would like do it and look at you and be like, good job, man. Like, and you're like, maybe I got to start thinking about like being more careful. Like she doesn't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you realize how valuable it is to install like good values
Yeah.
in these kids. I remember she always used to do a thing and after she did anything, she'd always go funny. So like she would knock something over and she'd go, funny? And you'd have to either be like, yeah, funny, or be like, no, that's not funny. And then she'd be like, okay, not funny. And then
And unfortunately for you think everything's funny.
that's the thing, I know. That was actually the thing about comedy that I thought was funny was that like, I'm like, I'm going to be a great comedian because I think everything is funny. Like I do. I'm like, it doesn't matter what it is. I just think it's so funny. And I was like, maybe that's not good. I'm like, a good comic should probably know what is funny, not just think everything is funny.
Every now and then that really works against you.
Yeah, totally. So you've been on have you got any calls out on the search and rescue yet?
Yeah, we got a few. We're not really allowed to talk about them, but we went on some like personnel searches, and one of them was like minus 25 or something.
Oh my God. Because I have a cool story where search and rescue got called for me one time here in Prince George.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I was making a dumb video too. It's all on footage, which is hilarious. So I used to have a stand-up jet ski, and I would ride it in the Nechako. And I remember I just did some like repairs to it because it wasn't working. And then I was like making a video. I was like, the best way to test is on a river, because if something goes wrong, you really know it, and it's going to be wrong quick. So then I was like riding up the Nechako, and I made it to like Foothills Bridge.
Yeah.
Just past there, and then the engine quit and it died on the jet ski. So then luckily, I had the foresight at least to ride upstream so that you can just float back. But then I got it to the edge of the river, managed to get the jet ski on the edge of the river, pull it up. Then I saw there was a guy fishing on the other side of Foothills. So then I like walked across the bridge in like my wetsuit and stuff, and then came down the other side and asked to use the guy's phone. Remember, I think I phoned, the only number I knew at the time was my buddy Brett and my mom. So I think I had to phone them. Then my buddy Brett came to get me with his truck. So he like drove his truck down to the river, and we loaded it up, and we noticed there were like all these cops going by, and then there was like search and rescue, and then the boat, they had everything. The search and rescue boat's out. And then I remember we like
pulled out all the stops, make it a really big deal so it's uncomfortable even more.
Exactly. And then we get out onto Foothills, and there's cops everywhere. And I remember just thinking, I was like, I have a feeling we maybe should talk to one of these people and just see what's going on, So we pull the truck over, and I get there, and there's like a cop and the fisherman, or not the fisherman, like a trucker having a talk. And I remember going over and being like, hey guys, like what's going on? And the trucker looked at me and goes, you're alive! Oh my God! And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, I thought you jumped off the bridge and were trying to kill yourself. Because he's like, I saw you walking on the bridge. He's like, and then I looked back and you were gone. So he's like, I immediately phoned 911. It was like someone just jumped off the bridge, because I guess I like tucked around behind to go talk to the fisherman. So he thought I jumped off, and like search and rescue was there, and everyone was there. It was a wild event.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And the whole shebang, cops and search and rescue.
Yeah,
and
the boat, and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, a few hours of interviews or what?
No, it was pretty quick, dude.
Oh,
I got out of there quick. I imagine all the search and rescue guys had a lot of paperwork to fill out. And
it's not like that. It's a lot of fun. And not that we want bad things to happen, but you kind of want a call.
Well, right? That's what they said. Even the boat guys, like, dude, I am so sorry for all this, everyone. The guy's like, it's pretty cool, man. We got to call out, get to try our equipment, and test all of our stuff.
Rendezvous point, mobilize, get that plan in place, have an incident commander. It's exciting.
Yeah. Do you have IC?
Yeah, we do like
the IC 100.
Yes, exactly. Right. The incident command system.
How high up do they go? Do they do up to? I know 400 is like the highest, but what do they train up to?
I don't know the numbers, but I know that there's like team lead, and then SAR manager 1 and SAR manager 2, and there's not very many SAR manager 2s in the province, so I imagine that's as high as it goes for us.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun, dude. Would you ever think you'd like the military?
Yes, I applied for the military.
Really?
Three times, yeah.
Oh, yeah, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be special forces, but
yeah, dude.
I have Crohn's disease, and they wouldn't let me in. And then I got so fit, I was doing because you know how they have like the physical whatever standards, and you got to run 1.5 miles in X amount of time.
Right.
So I got really, really good at that stuff. And on the third time I applied, I was in university, had a scholarship, had good grades. Like I thought I ticked all the boxes, but it turns out the military doesn't care if you have a physical disability. That's a no-go for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
And so Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
So again, very, very arrogant for using the wrong word. No. What is Crohn's again?
Oh, it's just I'm sure you've heard of like irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
It's like that times a million. I mean, when it's bad,
Right,
bad.
yeah.
So I've had a couple of bowel
So they just don't want you farting on the plane?
Yeah, no, right?
Like,
they can't count on you because you're going to have to use the washroom at the most inconvenient time.
Dude, we're in the middle of a raid right now. We asked, does anyone need to go to the washroom?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's crazy. And they won't let you in the military with that.
Yeah, and I'm
Interesting.
still obsessed with special forces. So I guess
Did you just see
maybe.
that Marines documentary?
No, what?
They're on Netflix.
Okay, I
There's
got
a
it. I
there's
got
a
to do it.
Netflix documentary out. Came out like last week, so I don't think it's been out a week. I think it came out on Wednesday.
Oh,
And
okay,
it's called Marines.
I'm gonna be all over this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's like 4 episodes, and they're showing all the guys. And
I watched like the one on Netflix about like buds training for the Navy SEALs. It's from like the 90s. It is
Okay.
wicked, and all
Yeah.
the styles are coming back. So everybody has mustaches, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
yeah, every time I think of mustache, I think of is it Jesse Ventura from have you seen Predator? The old Arnold movie?
Yes,
And
yes.
he's always chewing tobacco, and he's got the big gun.
I can't remember the name of that guy, but I
I
definitely
think
remember
it's
the
Jesse
movie.
Ventura.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got the face paint on. Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, love it.
Yeah, yeah. I think Marines, it seems like it would create a good structure, right? Like, again, even that search and rescue stuff, it's all,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. My cousin was in PPCLI, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, something like that, out of Edmonton.
yeah.
And he got into like recon and sniper training and stuff. And it was so rad. And I was so envious, jealous, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it straightened him out for sure. Like it takes people maybe without the right, I don't know, upbringing or that's the
Right.
wrong word. Maybe they just need a little bit of structure in their life.
Yeah.
And it totally gives that to them, right? And then that gives you confidence because they put you in the shit.
Yeah.
And they grind you down and then they build you back up and you're a arrogant version of yourself. So
Yeah,
it's really good,
exactly.
right? It's really good. They build confidence.
Yeah, I found that, not to compare the pulp mill to Marines, but I did find the pulp mill helped me a ton because I
Yeah.
was like I was just a little troublemaker, and
Yeah.
like, yeah. And then when I started the mill, I started at 19, and then you were working with a lot of people's dads. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people
totally.
you knew, they're like, oh, I like you're friends with their son or something. And then you get to be around people who are a little more mature, and they kind of teach you, dude, it's not that cool to go and egg people's houses. And
Yeah.
it's not actually cool to, just get blackout drunk
Oh,
every
yeah.
weekend. And, you know,
I did a stint in the forest industry, sawmill industry. Worked at Tolko in Quesnel for
okay.
a couple of years. And when we got hired, we did night shift.
yeah,
So we were all like 16 years old, working night shift. There's nobody there.
right.
And I mean, the things that you get up to with a bunch of 16-year-olds when there's nobody there, it's looking back, it was just the stupidest idea for management to put these
Yeah, put
kids.
these kids.
Like, it's the middle of the night. We're going to train you for 30 minutes on a lockout procedure and then like go into that piece of equipment that can kill you in an instant.
Yeah.
And the mill is huge, right? So you could be 7 people and you're kind of dispersed everywhere. And yeah, now that I have like a little bit of, I don't know, maturity and understanding of risk, it was a crazy scenario.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, those mills, man. I'm telling you. But no, did that chime just change? Like, kind of. It's
Squirrel.
11:11 if you want to make a wish, by
Okay,
the way,
nice.
if
Yeah,
you're wondering.
appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. So, Access Engineering, you guys got nominated for some stuff here?
Yeah, we were.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a crazy year for that, actually, for the Business Excellence Awards here, Prince
Yeah.
George Chamber of Commerce. We got nominated for Business of the Year. Made it to the finals. That was cool. Went to
Yeah.
the event. We also I got nominated for Business Person of the Year, which is cool. No big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Stacked by Design Time. That's that software we built. That won whatever, best in class, I don't know, technical innovation. So that
Right.
was really good. That was kind of the breath of something that we needed to keep going, because it's been it's a startup, right? So we spend way more money than we make, and
Yes.
you're constantly asking yourself the question, is this the right thing to do? But it's a good business plan and it's a good software, and I don't know, I'm just gonna nut up and put my big boy pants on and get after it this year and make it happen. It's been a big year.
Yeah. Do you write down yearly goals? Are you like a goal tracking guy?
I'm definitely a box ticking guy.
Right.
I haven't done the annual, here's my poster board and I'm going to break it up into all of my different goals that I want to do. Probably until this year, I thought that was too much of an emotional thingy for a guy to do. But I'm in a guys group with a few guys that are like way more manly than me, and they do stuff like that. So
Yeah, I do that. I do all
I'm
that
definitely going to
stuff.
try it out.
Yeah, I do like monthly goals and then yearly goals. And I do find though the yearly goals I get, I need to review them more. 'Cause I
Yeah.
like write it in January and then a lot of time I kind of forget. And I'm like, honestly, I can't even tell you what my goals were for 2025 this year. I know probably one of them was get an apartment, which I'm probably not getting. But yeah.
I agree, though. You have to visualize it. You have to write it down. Personally, I have to tell somebody about it, like,
Yeah.
kind of like commit to it, make it real. Cause I judge people on, like are you the type of person that does what you say you're going to do? Like for
Right.
me, that's the biggest indicator of if you're an awesome person or not.
Yeah.
So if I tell somebody and I want to be a good person, it's like, wow, I gotta do it, right?
Dude,
I gotta
I
sign up for this
just
marathon.
did this I just had to spend a boatload of money today because of that. I told my nephew wanted to go see the UFC fight. So my nephew does MMA and
Love
he's
it.
really into that. And they were in Vancouver last month, but I had shows, so I couldn't go. So I told him back then, I was like, hey, I have weekends open in December.
Yeah.
I was like, if it works out, I'll take you in December, and it can be like a Christmas, and he's like turning 16 pretty soon.
Yeah.
So like, it'll be your Christmas and sweet 16 birthday party thing all in one here. And then I look and I'm like, oh boy, there
Yeah.
they are. And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, this can't be that bad, right? I was thinking like, because they're in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's close, and we'll just fly to Vegas. I looked and I was like, and then the price, it's like $5,000.
Oh my goodness.
And
For
I'm
the whole
like,
trip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, for like that,
thank
that's
goodness.
everything. That's
Thank
your
goodness.
tickets, your
Yeah.
flights, and your hotel.
That's still a big chunk of change, man.
I know. And I was looking at that, and then you're like, but exactly like you're saying, I'm like, I can't, especially a kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't tell this kid I was going to do that. And then now back out on him and teach him that, like, hey, you don't have to do the things you say you're going to do.
I can't count how many times I've walked myself into this, and my wife is like sitting on the couch across from me, just looking at me like, one eyebrow up, being like, "Are you sure you're okay? Okay." It came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I just need somebody stopping me before
Yeah,
doing that.
waving, stop.
Yeah.
My oldest son had an obsession with Titanic and all things ship related for a better part of a year.
How old is your son?
9 years old.
Okay, yeah.
And we got him for Christmas the Titanic Lego, which is like the third biggest Lego in the world. It's like 10,000 pieces.
Oh my God.
And he crushed it 6 days.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe 10 days, six hours a day over Christmas break.
Right.
Crushed the whole thing. So anyway, he was really obsessed with it, and I was happy and proud, because I'm an engineer and he'll building all this Lego stuff, and he's getting involved and getting me involved with it, which is a ton of fun. And then he started getting obsessed with like cruises, like Royal Caribbean or whatever.
Yeah.
And started learning all about things like, Icon of the Seas, biggest cruise ship in the world. And yeah, of course, I committed to like taking him on the biggest cruise ship.
Oh,
And
no.
Before I looked up how, where it sails out of, how expensive it is.
Yeah.
So, in the coming years here, upcoming, we're going to have to do that. I'm kicking myself, but it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
know
fun.
you got to start. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, these can't be that
Yeah,
much,
it's like $6,000, right? It's
Yeah.
like, no, it's not $6,000.
Yeah, and then you start looking, you're like, oh boy, I should have had some foresight here. Maybe we could have got some pizzas and watched it live together
No doubt.
or something. Yeah, like watch on pay-per-view. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, and you have 2 kids?
Yeah, we got a little boy, two boys, 9 and 6, and the youngest one is a version of me for sure, and the oldest one's a version of my wife, which is the trippiest thing to see in the world, man. And you sort of have to decide in what scenarios to talk to which of them, because you have different approaches to everything, like different communication style, right?
Right.
Like take like somebody who's, my wife's more caring and emotional and available than me, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of more to the point and suck it up and, pick yourself up and let's go.
Do they play sports?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, the littlest one is into baseball. He likes baseball, and
Yeah.
he oddly enough, I was doing some not sporty, but endurance stuff last year for the last couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to keep myself out of trouble. Signing up for a marathon or a half Ironman or whatever.
Like Scotty over here.
Yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, he's on like the on steroids version of me.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I look up to him.
Yeah, me too, man.
But the kids started picking that up, which is like pretty cool. And they started like, oh, I want to do a run, and I want to run in the College Heights 5. Or my little one signed up for, or convinced us to sign him up for CrossFit. I mean, like if you've ever
Okay.
watched like 6-year-olds doing CrossFit, it's a pretty sweet thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, is it fun? Well, do they do like weightlifting at all?
I don't think they do anything that can be damaging. Like they're pretty tame
I guess
about
6,
stuff.
right? Can
But they do like box jumps, and they do, I don't know, push up burpees and jump and jack. It's wicked
Yeah.
to see
And
him just get into it.
For your talk about endurance stuff, you like running. So running, your shtick.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like doing anything.
Did you
but
play
it's-
sports?
No, I boxed. No, I
Oh.
didn't. I was homeschooled, man. So I didn't get like the typical school sports thing, and we were broke as I was growing up. So I would love to play hockey or something like that. It just
Yeah.
wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the parents are like, you can play stuff that's
You
cheap,
don't punch
which is
people.
yeah, exactly. So you can kind of do whatever you want.
And you can do this anytime you want. You don't even have to sign up. You can just box wherever, you know?
In hindsight, that wasn't a very good idea either, right? Because that sort of doesn't do you any favors if you're already a bit of an aggressive personality.
Right.
So
well, that's what I found with hockey even. So like I grew
Totally.
up playing hockey, and I remember it took me a little while to learn to become like a civil adult, you know? Like, because hockey, I always said, it's the one time in life where if you say something to me I don't like, I'm allowed to punch you in
Yeah,
the face.
it's wild.
Like you're just allowed to do it. Like I think it's the only sport that allows fighting.
Yeah. Do they fight in lacrosse?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
maybe hockey and lacrosse.
yeah, hockey and lacrosse for sure. Yeah. But it's just like, yeah, like if you said something to me I don't like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
going to punch you in the head.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that bad of a thing. You're like, you get a penalty. But
In this day and age, though, I think it's super important that that exists because I think
Right.
society is just, that's inside of a lot of people.
Right.
And you need to give them an outlet.
yes.
So I really like that they're still fighting in hockey. And then there
Yeah.
not in like every stage. Like they
Right.
don't let you fight until you're a certain age or
Yeah, exactly. And
certain div
also
or
it's
something,
like
right?
depending on the level you're playing. Like in the lower levels, if you fight, like you do get kicked out of the game and you do get suspensions.
Gotcha.
But as you get up to like the professional levels, then it's like a 5-minute penalty.
Yeah.
And you can do it. And then there's certain ones where it's like, yeah, you fight, but you're kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
Like in Quinnell now, like in the CIHL, if you fight, you just miss that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of guys will be like, wait till the end of the game and then they have a fight.
Yeah. It's healthy though, right? It's like recognize you can kind of do whatever you want, but there's consequences to these actions. And sometimes it's
100%.
worth it and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And I think that's why sports teams and those environments, they grow maybe better people, better humans, right? They
Yeah.
teach you how to think about your team rather than just yourself, right? And
Yeah,
maybe
most
control your temper
fights that I ever got in hockey were
for somebody else.
for a teammate.
Yeah.
Like it was like they're picking on one of our guys. I was
Heck
like,
yeah.
hey man, leave that guy alone. And then I was like,
Absolutely.
all right, I'll fight you. Like,
Yeah.
leave our little scoring guy alone.
It should be the only reason you fight, really.
Yeah.
In outside of a sports scenario as well, like right, you don't need to fight.
Yeah,
for
you
yourself.
don't. Yeah. Always just like trying to help someone. Dude, I just watched that documentary on Netflix too. It was so bad. But this goes against everything though, because they were a group of rugby players. They like beat
Oh,
a
yeah,
kid to
tough.
death. Did
Oh
you see
my
that
goodness.
one?
No,
Oh,
I
it's
didn't
so
know.
bad, dude.
I
This
got
took a
another
dark
show to
turn.
watch.
But yeah, no, I've been watching. I had to put on some stand up the other day because I was like, I am watching a lot of bad. I'm just true crime in it. It's just death and
Yeah.
painful stuff. I'm
I
like,
know.
what are we?
I
what am
like sci-fi and like stuff that's like it's not heavy, but it's sort of kind of heavy too. My wife says that too. Like we need comedy and romance. Like we got to mix it up a little bit. It can't be just military and sci-fi stuff. all the
Yeah,
time.
well, a big one I found is like when I'm watching something, I want to feel like I'm learning something.
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know? So
Knowledge
it's-
Network. It's free to sign up. They got a million things on there.
Really?
Yeah.
The Knowledge Network. And where do you get
Yeah.
that?
It's just online.
And
Knowledge.
there's like an app though? Like on
Yeah.
your-
There's an app.
so you can just download on a smart TV?
Yeah,
Knowledge
that's where
Network?
North Shore Search and Rescue, if you want to sort of get an idea what PG does, but maybe on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Okay, yeah, we should bring this thing home pretty quick. But
Yeah.
what do you think of? So Prince George, are there advantages to being up here? With your-
Massively. Yeah, we're my wife and I decided to move to PG, and there's not that many people that do that, but I've met some recently that said that, and I love hearing that. If I find so many people come up here, it's like the 5-year plan, and then they're stuck here, and then
Right.
that's BS. PG is a wicked place to live. It's a relatively affordable place to live. It's got an airport that can get you to Vancouver in 60 minutes, and from there you can be anywhere in the world in a day.
Yeah.
We got 4 real seasons. I don't know, 50 plus awesome hikes, mountain peaks that you can get to, a bunch of lakes and rivers, and you can be an outdoorsman and kill animals or whatever you want to do. You can play sports. You can kind of do it all. You can have the best of all worlds, I think, in a community that's 100,000 people. And you also got to watch your mouth because you're going to be walking down the street and see that person that you were a jerk to the last day, right? Or in the grocery store or whatever else. So yeah, I love being in PG, and I think it's a smaller fishbowl or pond or whatever you want to say, and it's easier to be a bigger fish. So as an entrepreneur, I appreciate the opportunity of this tight size of city as well. And the people are awesome.
That's what I've always said about comedy. I said I think one of my biggest advantages is being from Prince George, because I think it's a big enough city it can have an impact, but it's small enough that
Yeah.
you're somebody there.
Yeah, you're
So,
not
like,
anonymous. You can remember people. and-
yeah, because I have friends who came from Vancouver
Yeah.
and they do comedy, but they don't, because it's such a big city. they don't really get that, like, hey, the hometown kid is back. They're like, who? You know, like nobody knows this guy. Like, you know, it's where, and then I have friends who came from really small places. So say like, yeah, like someone like Vanderhoof or Quesnel, for example.
Yeah.
But it's like everyone there could know you, but it's just not enough people to really make it that big of an impact. Is where I found Prince George is a sweet spot where every time I come home and I do shows, everyone has like 1 to 2 degree separations from you.
Big time.
They're like, oh, they're like, my son played hockey with him, or like, you know, this person's friends with him, or like, they're so close, so everyone feels some sort of connection to you. And there's enough people that when you kind of spread it out, you're like, oh, it makes an impact.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's these 80,000 people and they know who you are, and it helps spread, the word. So when I go to a show in Kamloops, people are like, oh, my friend in Prince George told me you were great, and I got to go see you, so I'm here. And
love it.
yeah.
Small town famous, man.
Yeah, small town famous.
Or medium town famous.
Yeah, there you go, medium town, yeah. No, I like it. And what's in your future then here?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I continue to be a structural engineer. I like that. And if any of your audience is looking for structural engineering services, Access Engineering, Structural, Prince George, Edmonton.
Yeah, oh, you do Edmonton as well?
Yeah, we just opened up a shop over there. We got 6 people over there. So we're expanding.
Expanding, and
taking over the world thing is happening slowly.
Yeah. Calgary next or what?
No, jeepers, I don't know. Can't think about that yet. One thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
And on the software side of things is figuring out how to be a CEO and how to serve our clients. We got a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but our early adopters for the stacked software are from Prince George. And that's a really super cool feeling.
So cool.
When there's like these other engineering companies that you're in the same profession, you're in the same world, and they're seeing what you're doing. And that's a real confidence builder when somebody kind of acknowledges that like you're doing something slightly different and it seems to be working from you. And, you're a cool enough dude and I trust you that, we're going to use your software. We're going to give you a shot.
Yeah.
So we got a really nice feeling starting point, and I think we got a bright future with Stacked by Design Time.
Dude, that's really cool. I really admire the software development side. I think that's very, very fun because I've thought about that with ticket sales.
Yeah.
So like a thing that so Amazon, I think, nailed it, right? With their one purchase, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
Like that's their whole thing. The less buttons you have to click and the less time you can put between
There's
them
and
them thinking about it, they'll buy. And the problem I found with a lot of tickets, most of the venues I go to, they have their own box office.
Yeah.
So then also I can't get like my tracking pixels on their box office. So I have to have them on my personal website.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have to drive people to my website. Then they have to click a button on my website, which then goes to the box office's website. And then there's usually a get tickets button on there that then opens up the actual floor plan.
Yep.
Then they have to pick the seats and then they got to continue. And it's like such a long process that I was like, if I could create like get a software developer to have something. So on my site, you literally just have like select quantity and click buy now.
Yep.
And then it's like poof, done. And it automatically goes and picks just whatever the 4 best seats available in the venue and then sends them their tickets. I was like, you would probably increase your sales.
Totally.
By like 10x.
I don't know who does that type of stuff, but anytime I get an idea like that I want to know about, I love that there's AI out there now. So like, I don't know what membership you got, Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, but having literally like just having a 2-minute conversation on your phone, just voice recording into ChatGPT, saying exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to lay out like a step-by-step methodology of how you get there. And then you just got to find the person and execute and away you go.
Yeah.
That's a sweet part about the day and age that we live in is like, if you just have the gumption to
that's what I would say.
Do it.
I'd say that's like for comedy, there's no way that I could do what I do now, even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like even before GPS. Because like, dude, I'm driving around trying to find places, and I'm like, I drive all over the country. I have no idea where anything is, and it's just the map to get there. And I'm like, imagine trying to do this before. You would have to have like the yellow pages, and you'd be trying to find where's a theater that I can rent in this town, and you'd be like mailing contracts back and forth. Like,
I know,
because we just launched like a 40 show tour, and it's like, but it's
where's the next one, or when does it start?
It starts January 9th. And we do, I think, in Revelstoke. So January 9-10 is the opening weekend. I think we do Revelstoke and Merritt.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man. And it goes till June. So I think we do every weekend other than one. I think I got one weekend off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an intense schedule.
It's all self-produced now. Cool. And it's all through that. Like you can use like the internet, computers, and AI. And
Wicked.
As where before I'm like, we would have needed a team of like, there's like 4 of us to put this together, you know?
Yep.
It's like me, my mom, Grace actually from here is a graphic designer, and then Rachel, and she does all my assistant.
Awesome.
And we just do it all. As where before I'm like, you would have needed 20 people to organize all of this. You need tour managers. And so I do think, the opportunities have probably never been higher than they are now. But I think that also creates more competition.
Yeah, agreed.
Because the barrier to entry is lower.
Fair enough. But talking about some place like Prince George, there isn't as much competition here.
Right.
So I know that you can't do your comedy entirely in the Prince George bubble, so you got to do it on the road. But for other business opportunities and ventures and entrepreneurs, I think PG or other similar types of cities is where it's at, because there is less fish. You can be a big fish. It's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, there is so much more opportunity. And that's the great thing about living here.
Yeah,
so
man.
one quick more question before we get to ask everyone this.
You bet.
Is just a philosophy question. What is something that you used to believe to be true that you no longer do?
Oh, man.
Then take your time. Don't worry. You can...
I can't believe that I don't have anything ready here off the top of my head. I used
For
to
a
believe
question that I didn't know what was coming.
Sure, but I've spent some time thinking about this in the past. Okay, this is a real one. I used to think that my parents were sort of infallible, and that as I've seen them get older, as I got older now, you start to recognize that they do things that are maybe, arguably wrong. And that's a hard thing to accept as a human being. And now that I have kids, I appreciate that even more so. So I want to push that timeline out as far as I can, where my boys think that I'm, a Greek god or whatever.
Right,
They think that I'm the man,
Yeah.
as far as I can, and hold on to that for as long as I can. So that kind of drives me to be a best version of myself. Because one day they're going to wake up and realize that, I screwed up, and that's going to be a real eye opener for them.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good one. I've never heard that one before. But yeah, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast,
Yeah,
Bruce.
thanks.
And
Appreciate it.
appreciate your time.
Appreciate you having me.
Cool.